here I am along with skin experts Nikki and Amelia at Clear Skin Solutions, and we are thrilled to have you here with us because today is another hot topic, and we're diving into the skincare revolution that we call vitamin A. And we want to talk about vitamin A because we know that y'all want to use it, and oftentimes it can come with some, I guess, a little bit more difficulty in, getting the skin ready to be able to accept it. So lots to talk about. But before we dive into the details, we want to just take a minute to help you understand just why vitamin A holds such a sacred place in the world of skincare. So Amelia, can you tell me a little bit about why is vitamin A a superhero in the skincare realm, especially when it comes to clearing acne and working on pro-aging?
Vitamin A is a multifunctional topical vitamin, and we love it for that purpose. So not only is it fabulous for anti-aging, but it's also really great for acne. It stimulates cell turnover. It's really good for cell-to-cell memory. It unclogs pores because it's a small enough molecule to get deep down in those pores and break up waxy substances. It promotes collagen. It's amazing for keeping you youthful and preventing aging. It's awesome for fine lines and wrinkles and the pigment that is left over after acne. So even after your acne is gone, it's still doing amazing work. And so vitamin A is just our favorite.
Well, because a lot of times we get those post-inflammatory, you'll get the brown, the darker patches from the scarring, and sometimes we can get a little bit of the redness. Does it help with the redness as well?
Pink PIE, absolutely.
Yeah.
It helps so much with that cell turnover. And when we get those cells turning over a bit faster, then we get more of a natural flushness and pinkness to our skin. That's not people call it acne scarring, but it's actually just kind of what's left over from healing. And it's always the last to go, but it does leave. And so this just helps it move a bit faster.
Yeah. Awesome. So it kind of sounds like vitamin A can do it all. However, I want to preface that any skincare superhero, vitamin A does come with its own set of challenges. And I know that many of us have heard stories or have experienced firsthand. Vitamin A can cause irritation, redness, flaking on the skin. But, there's a reason for that. So fear not, vitamin A can be used on the skin as long as you've got a set routine. But today we want to not only demystify the science behind vitamin A, but we're also uncovering the secrets to help you deliver its benefits while avoiding the common pitfalls that come with vitamin A. And that's the irritation and the redness. So let's just talk about a little bit about the understanding the science of vitamin A and why is it considered one of the top the top products. It is a project, top products for age reversal and prevention. Nikki, can you share a little bit about that?
The more and more I learn about vitamin A, the more and more I want to take baths in it. I just want to swim in this stuff because vitamin A, is not just prevention, but it helps us reverse damage that we've done on our skin. I never realized this, but we all have vitamin A, and the damage that we create on our skin depletes us of it. So sun damage, there's a few other things that came to mind earlier, but I can't think of them right now. But they are damaging the vitamin A. So we want to replenish the vitamin A, especially as we age.
So are you saying that we naturally have vitamin A in our bodies already?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Okay, awesome. So how does vitamin A affect the skin's texture and its overall appearance? I know we've with the cell renewal, it gets into the pores, but how does it affect the skin's texture? Because I know a lot of people have textural issues.
I always like to simplify things. I like to communicate in a way that helps most of us understand it easier. And I explain vitamin A in the same way that I explain microneedling. Those cell-to-cell memory, it starts to lag. That cell-to-cell communication starts to lag. And so what we want to do is re-trigger that cell turnover and that communication between the cells. So vitamin A is saying, wake up, guys, we've got a job to do. And
I
it
love
doesn't
that.
matter, it doesn't matter what part of the body we're working on, it will start that communication again.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
They basically it speaks to your cells, is it? Is it speaking to
Yes,
your cells? Yeah.
exactly.
We're having a little conversation.
Yes. Come on,
So
guys, we've gotten a little lazy. We've got to get to work.
that's right. Come on, guys, let's go. So we talk a lot about, if you've listened to our other podcasts, we talk a lot about pore clogging ingredients and how anti-aging products are actually breaking us out, which is how Clear Skin Solutions came to be with their products and formulations. So how does vitamin A achieve both those benefits if we're worried about anti-aging products breaking us out?
So a lot of times we're prescribed, so you can be prescribed vitamin A as a topical, and then there's also over-the-counter vitamin A's as topicals. And so you can get it at like pretty much any drugstore, but you can also get it at your pharmacy. And so when we're dealing with the vitamin A and having a vitamin A derivative that's going to help prevent acne as well as support anti-aging, we're going to be looking for a specific formula that's going to cater to both.
Okay.
And so, with that being our thing here at Clear Skin Solutions, is that we were looking for something that was going to be for anti-aging and acne as well. Then we were going to be looking for a formula that was going to cater to both so that we could have the acne benefits without it being pore clogging, and also have the benefits of that cell to cell memory and cell turnover so that we could slow down aging and help prevent and keep pigment at bay. And so I think that we have definitely achieved that.
Yeah.
I was going to say that sounds like a big challenge with trying to get it right. And so good job for achieving that formula that you guys have.
Thank you.
We are pretty darn proud of that formula. Yes.
But a big part of it, I think, is in the strengths and how we go about prescribing those to people, and how people go about utilizing them at home in ways that you don't end up kind of having that pendulum swing to the other side, where we're looking to treat the acne with something that's too strong for the skin to tolerate, and then swing the other way and getting dry skin and irritation and more of an acne flare up. So the strengths and the person who's telling you how to use them is such a huge component in utilizing vitamin A and having it be for its full purpose, because it has so many amazing benefits. So you've got to be able to use it, right, for you to get those benefits.
Yeah. And finding a way to use it is half the battle, really. And that's really why we're sharing this podcast today, because we know the importance of vitamin A and for age reversal and for acne, but a lot of people really do struggle with finding that kind of sweet spot for their vitamin A routines. Now, do you have any, can you share a couple of stories? I know, Nikki, your son, Ashton, he experienced some really great results with his vitamin A routine. Can you
Should I back it up a little bit and tell? Yeah, I love to tell this part of it, because moms will come to us with children that they're having a hard time getting their child to listen to them, that they need to do their skin routine.
Right.
And I'm like, even I have to have my kids go to somebody else. So I got Ashton in to see one of our estheticians, and he started following her advice. And he came into me one day and he was like, we were bringing some clogged pores to the surface. He had some maturation arrest and he had some open comedones, and really we're starting to clear him up. But while we're clearing him up, those things are coming to the surface. And he said, wow, when I use vitamin A, I can't see my pores anymore. Now, he doesn't care about aging. He's 21. He doesn't care about fine lines and wrinkles.
Not thinking about that yet.
Not thinking about that yet. But the same thing that works on that has just made it so he could see that his skin was so smooth. He said, like a baby's bottom, and he probably won't be excited about me sharing that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But it's the exact same thing that is helping that texture and those lines. The other one was and I love this story so much. People hear me talk about it. There's a friend of mine who's in the industry who's been trained under the same philosophy as us. And she was on a dating app and was going through, and she ran across this guy, and his face looked 40 and his neck looked 65. And so she was like, I had to say yes. Had to find out the rest of the story. And this gentleman happened to, when he was 35 years old, he had happened to work under the same doctor's philosophy and started using vitamin A on his face. Now, mind you, back then we didn't have different, we didn't have clear skin solutions, but we didn't have different formulas for different parts. And so now we have a formula that you can use underneath your eye, that delicate area, but you can also use that same formula on your neck, that other delicate area. And I asked if she went on the date and if she sold him an eye cream.
And did he get the neck?
But look at that. Like, he started it at 35. His skin it wasn't that it wasn't aging at all. It was just that it slowed down. It was naturally slowing down. And now we needed to get his neck to catch up to that same.
We need to match the face to the neck,
right? Yes, we needed to match.
Yeah. So now we mentioned that people often struggle. We talked about struggling with vitamin A, and why does that happen? Like, I know that we have different types of retinols, but what's the main cause as to why people often struggle or feel that they can't tolerate it?
If it's introduced into our routine too quickly, if it's higher of a percentage than our skin can tolerate or that we haven't been acclimated up to, then we get what a lot of people call a vitamin A purge, where they'll have redness, irritation, dry, flaky skin, and pretty much the opposite effects of what we're looking for when somebody is prescribed a vitamin A. They're looking for a youthful appearance, a clearance of acne, and if they're overprescribed or start it too quickly, then they get the complete opposite effect.
Which is not good, right? So people are experiencing, like, I've seen a lot of people with skin irritation or like flakiness, like you said, and over shedding. And what about like prescription vitamin A's?
A lot of prescription vitamin A's. So most of, like, in layman terms, when somebody's just at home and they're going to be like checking the ingredient deck on a prescription that you get from a pharmacy that you got from your dermatologist, most of us aren't going to understand any of the ingredients or what any of that means. And you're going to have no idea if it has a pore clogger or an irritant, or what derivative of vitamin A that is, how quickly it converts in the skin, and how much irritation it's going to cause. So the education around it when you're just a consumer is very limited. When you're just going to be buying something from a pharmacy or getting prescribed it.
That makes sense. Yeah. So how can our listeners differentiate between effective and potentially pore clogging or irritating formulas if there's so many options out there and we just don't know what we don't know, right?
Even having the education and the knowledge, I made vitamin A mistakes, and I have yet to meet other professionals that don't have some of that false knowledge around vitamin A, right? They don't have really great understanding of vitamin A. So I think you have to find people that work with formulas that are going to work to reverse the things that you might want to reverse.
Are the vitamin A product that you use, is it safe to go down the neck, or should there be something different that should be used for that area?
So our Revita A, our straight Revita A, we use on our face and our décolleté, our hands and our arms.
Okay.
Our Rejuvenate is what we use around our eyes, is also what we use on our neck and any place else that is sensitive.
Okay.
The formulas are perfect for around that sensitive area.
Great. So you've got different options that can be used for the eye, for the neck, for the face. That's great. All right. So to wrap up, did you want to share any final tips or advice to our listeners who are considering incorporating vitamin A into their skincare routine? I know we just talked about different areas that you can apply.
I'm like, I wasn't really joking when I said I want to swim in this stuff. So, our highest level of Revita A, I use on the top of my hands and my arms. And like I said, on my décolleté. And that really slows down and reverses some sun damage. And one of the things, because I'm 56, and one of the things that I see people compliment me all the time about is, why did your hands don't show aging? And that's it. Vitamin A has been on the top of my hands for many years. And just like that gentleman's neck, like the areas that have not had that love from me are definitely crying out for some vitamin A love.
Vitamin A love. So I think the moral of the story is that for age prevention, I would say vitamin A is probably one of your biggest cheerleaders for age prevention, along with SPF. We cannot forget.
So it's our number 2, right? Sunscreen's number 1, vitamin A is number 2.
Yeah. SPF number 1, vitamin A number 2, and having those 2 products as a staple in your skincare routine is going to make a world of difference when it comes to prevention of age prevention. We're not trying to stop aging, because obviously we can't, but there's definitely things that we can do to help smooth and keep us looking as youthful as we want, right? So thank you so much, Amelia and Nikki, for sharing your wealth of knowledge about vitamin A. I know that it is a huge topic that comes up a lot with clients, like just thinking, nope, I can't use vitamin A, so I'm just not going to do it. But I think with these solutions, I'm like, just do it, please, because it's going to help change your skin and help reverse acne, aging, fine lines, pigmentation, like you name it, it's going to do it. So again, thank you.
But that is all about the formulations.
Formulations. Yeah. And that's the important part. And that's really part of the reason why people feel kind of frustrated with vitamin A, is because not understanding, can't just go pick something up off the shelf and or over the counter and hope for the best kind of scenario, because there's a lot of factors that just from listening to you guys today, there's a lot of things that need to be considered when you are starting a vitamin A routine. So thank you again for joining us today. Thank you for listening. We will be back next month for another episode of the Clear Skin Podcast. So be sure to hit that follow button so that you never miss an episode, and we will see you again.
Thank you, Delia.
Thank you.